Oh, I'm George Kenner, broker associate, Keller Williams Realty, serving the greater San Diego area. Today I'm here with Marina Romeri.
Very good.
And she has a little bit of a problem. She's dealing with a valuation issue on a Fannie Mae short sale. And here's the situation. Today I met with her and her client. Her client is a younger man with a child. He'd like to be able to complete a short sale. He's been working in good faith. And the problem is you have a valuation issue. You've had offers on the property at about $390,000?
$390 was the highest offer up until yesterday.
Okay. Now, I understand that this is in like a planned unit development. It's a three-story property here in the East Lake area in Chula Vista.
Right.
So there's probably other properties just like this, correct?
Correct.
What's the highest price any of those have sold for?
Highest price is a model match about 3 doors down, and that sold for $435,000, but it was highly upgraded. Ours is not.
Okay.
These are properties with a 0 lot line. There's no yard. Basically, it's a PUD with no yard and a 3-story unit, which is a little more difficult to sell. He has a music studio on the 3rd floor. So
hold on for a second. Music studio? You mean there's like acoustic tiles and
there's acoustic
wiring
tiles, there's
and
insulation, there's wiring, there's you walk up and he does full recordings up there.
Okay, so when the bank gave you a copy of the BPO, the valuation that they did of the property, was there any notation made?
They didn't give me a copy of the
Oh,
BPO.
so we really don't know what the value of the property was. So we're working blind. All we can do is our best and bring market offers to the property. So do you have any idea of how they got to a $450,000 property?
I have no idea, George. I have absolutely no idea. I believe they're using properties in the neighborhood that have sold for that amount, but they're on 5,000 plus square foot lots. We're looking at 2,900 with our property.
Okay, now when you came to me with this initially, knowing that I do a little work with the local associations, trying to ask lenders for help. First thing I asked you was who the lender was, and that was?
That is Bank of America.
Okay, and then I asked you if you knew who the investor was. And you responded?
I didn't know at the time.
Okay, so what I did was I pulled the notice of default. On the second page of the notice of default, the beneficiary is listed, but we found that the beneficiary was MERS, the Mortgage Electronic Registration System. So, let me kill this phone. Wasn't planning on that. Okay, so it was the Mortgage Electronic Registration System, so we didn't know that it was Fannie Mae. Okay, but now we know beyond a shadow of a doubt by having pulled the information that it's a Fannie Mae transaction. So there's a little bit of confusion in why maybe FHA will give us a copy of the appraisal and the valuation system that they'll use so that we have something to refute, where Bank of America and Fannie Mae not only hide the identity of Fannie Mae, but won't give us the information.
Yeah, they've given us nothing.
Okay. So all we're really asking for is for Bank of America and Fannie Mae to get together, postpone a potential foreclosure sale, and really come up with a valuation method that works. Okay, how many years have you been in this industry?
39.
39 years. Now you're willing to place your integrity on the line and say that you think that you're fairly making a representation of value of the property.
Absolutely, without question. We're confident of value. My estimation was between $415 and $420. The current buyer that we had did not want to go above $390, and so we counted again. They came down from $451 to $450, which is totally unreasonable for that property. There's nothing even close to that.
Okay. Now today I was talking to some people that work on the Realtors Government Affairs Committee. And what we're trying to do is we're going to move this video to just a slightly different phase. And I'm going to ask you a couple of questions. If we don't sell this property and it goes to foreclosure and it sells for less money, then we've affected our property tax base, correct? Now, Fannie Mae and Freddie Mac are owned wholly by the taxpayers, and they are controlled by the Federal Housing Finance Agency. So we would wonder how there could be such a varying in systems from FHA to a Fannie Mae, Freddie Mac, or even the HAFA program. Now, let me ask you this question. How much time did Bank of America give you to market the property knowing that they wanted $450,000?
It's been a little over a week. And the foreclosure sale date is due for this Friday, 5 days from now, and they will not give us an extension.
So you have months of time into this transaction
Correct.
to only a week before sale find out that the value of the property,
Correct.
they want $30,000 more.
Right.
Now, how many more listings can you do like this and stay in business?
I can't. We can't work like that. After we've invested approximately 5 to 6 months into this particular listing, clients been very, very cooperative, given us everything we need to submit to the bank and to comply with every request that they've made of us. But right now, we're looking at a couple with a young baby and 5 days to foreclosure and denial on the extension, which makes no sense at all.
Okay, so let me ask you, as a taxpayer, do you understand why the FHA system and the Fannie Mae and Freddie Mac system are so much different? That's a simple yes or no. Okay, so it would really make sense that if they're all government assets, they'd all be maintained at least in similar methodologies.
Absolutely.
Now, having 39 years of experience, you understand that Bank of America has what's called a co-op program where they will actually name the value of the property in advance, correct?
I'm not aware of that, but thank you, George.
Okay, well, they do. They have a program where they will give you the value of the property in advance, very similar to a half a transaction.
I see.
But in this transaction, not only were you unable to determine who the beneficiary was because it was not on the notice of default, you haven't really been given a fair chance to market the property at the value that it is. So we're heading very quickly into a foreclosure where it affects everyone's value.
Absolutely.
Okay, so we're going to have a property tax fall, we're going to have to execute the foreclosure. I know of one property that's a Fannie Mae that sat for over 18 months in our community after it was foreclosed upon, before anything was done. Now that cannot be in the best interest, and I hope our congressmen are watching this, because it's time to bring some pressure. If we have to work together, we need some help here. But this reminds me of the days of $5,000 toilet seats for aircraft carriers. We have to stop it. 160 Minutes program stopped the aircraft carrier toilet issue. Somebody needs to grab the reins on this. I very much appreciate your time. This will be posted on the blog, and hopefully it will get to somebody at Fannie Mae, Bank of America, and the regulators. We're serious out here. We cannot stay in business doing this. This is fundamentally unfair to both our client, our community, and even our profession. We just can't do it.
I agree. George, do you want to hear something ironic about this?
Sure.
This property is in a zip code that was one of the hardest hit zip codes in the United States as far as foreclosures. A few years ago, it was in the top 3 in the United States for hardest hit zip codes with foreclosures. And we can't get cooperation on something like that. It just amazes me.
Okay.
Thank you for your time, George.
Oh, thank you. And we hope that this hits the right place at Bank of America and at Fannie Mae. And can you help? Thank you.
Thank you. Thank you, George, for all your help.
Thank you.